People of the world, welcome back to Send It Rising. Our main story of the day, Florida TikTok star Ava Majury, whose dad gunned down armed home invader to testify against another alleged stalker. This one from foxnews.com. Maryland 18-year-old showed up at the girl's doorstep. We talked about this in the previous episode. Basically, her father ended up killing him. I did a TikTok about this, and a lot of people said that the father and mother allowed for photos to be sold of her to random people. According to the foxnews.com article, she awoke one night to the sound of a shotgun blast tearing through her front door. This is in Florida. That's when this Maryland teen showed up and attempted to murder her. Her dad, who was a police officer, shot and killed the trespasser, who was 18 years old. Prior to this, she had mentioned that she had blocked him, so they were aware of some issues here because he had left some inappropriate requests for explicit content and was harassing her and her friends. Florida has a stand your ground law, and so Rob Majury has not been charged. Another boy allegedly has begun stalking and intimidating her. We see this a lot with these copycat criminals, where once a precedent has been established, they will follow suit. So I just feel terrible for this poor family. Again, a lot of the comments I got on my TikTok, which is now up to 80,000 views, by the way, has been... It's just so strange. A lot of people do this victim blaming thing where they are saying, well, did you know that they were selling her photos? And that's their big kind of sticking point. I don't care what they're doing with photos of a human being. There is no justification for showing up at somebody's house with a shotgun and shooting their front door. I don't care what they did. That's insane to me. Absolutely insane. And there is a large segment of the population that goes, she deserved it, which to me makes no sense. It does not compute. Quote, social media can connect people of all walks of life and create a sense of community. Majury's legal team mentioned in a statement, quote, but I'm telling my story, this is Ava, so that young people and parents are also aware of the dangers of social media. I mean, it's rough. So the second stalker, allegedly someone from Naples as well, has been intimidating following Ava since December. Yikes. I mean, it's just so rough. And now they're living in this whole world. And the other thing, too, is people assume that they're making all this money from her popularity, which they very well may not have made enough money to even come close to the suffering that they've had. Quote, she is genuinely afraid for her safety. This is from Lanny Davis, one of her attorneys. It's so sad. So anyway, I get a lot of people whenever my daughter is making YouTube videos, those sorts of things. They'll say, hey, be cognizant that this is something that can occur. And I hear them loud and clear. I also know that this generation that is growing up right now is very interested in being a YouTube star. It's the number one voted career choice of almost everyone under 15 at this point, because that's the world they live in. And so we need to be sober about both those realities. I think the true problem is the parents and lifestyle of this 18-year-old. How he thought this was a good idea to go and do this. He's at fault, no question. Moving right along, LinkedIn debuting its own podcast network. If you're listening to this, you're probably a fan of podcasts. LinkedIn is delving deeper into the podcast world. According to TechCrunch.com, it's debuting a podcast network that features in-house shows from the LinkedIn news team as well as programs from industry figures. As the owner of SendItRising.com, I work with businesses from all around the world, and I have mentioned many times to my clients that they should seriously consider a podcast. It's a great way to get links back to your website, which is great for SEO. It's a good way to refine your message, and ultimately, people do business with folks that they know, like, and trust. If they don't know you, you can forget the liking part and the trusting part. So a podcast is a good way to earn that. They're going to focus on areas including tech, mental health, hiring process, etc. They're saying that this is a pilot and it's building on the success of Hello Monday, which is a LinkedIn news podcast that they rolled out. They also have newsletters, live events, etc. So if you're into podcasting and you like LinkedIn, you might want to check that out. Local business owner loses access to Facebook account after being hacked. Don't know if you've ever had this particular issue. We've seen it with websites where all of a sudden an ISIS flag is the homepage. Pretty easy to clear those up. But this Lincoln, Nebraska resident showed that, you can lose access to Facebook, and this is not good. Quote, I opened my Facebook immediately, this from 1011now.com, and before I could even search password, I was logged out of my account. This is Haley Reed. She owns a H. Flynn Designs company in Lincoln, Nebraska. She spent 8 years building her business page on Facebook. She couldn't log in, lost access to her personal account, and of course the business. Quote, for someone to go into Facebook and be able to not only hack but post horrible content on my page, I may never ever see my business page that I built for the last 8 years. It's like my biggest nightmare, says Reed. She obviously is getting a lot of her revenue from Facebook. How liable is Facebook? Well, we're about to find out. As I've mentioned before, purchasing an Oculus virtual headset has been one of the tactics that people use to try to get Facebook's attention because they simply cannot get any customer service. Quote, you would think that they would have a chat center or like an email or a phone number or some sort of customer service, but there is nothing. And I know this all too well, again, working in the marketing field. She said she spent over $500 looking for assistance, including a company in Norway, and purchasing an Oculus virtual headset. That didn't work either. Quote, the whole thing drives me absolutely crazy. I just want my accounts back. I just want to be able to post on my business account. I just want to go back to my normal job. So this is just one of those things where when we allow monopolies to do what they do, we end up with issues like this where they're a company, they don't have to offer support. It's that simple. And yet people will build their entire business from a Facebook page. They will think of it as their own page. This is the great problem with companies that get outsized like this, is that they become such dominant players. Like, good luck running a business without Google. Good luck running a business without Facebook. And so really at the end of the day, Facebook, one of the reasons their stock is dropping so precipitously is everyone's talking about how incredibly annoying it is to work on the platform. This is just one more example. Will they ever get this figured out? I don't know, because they've got all the money in the world to figure these sorts of things out, and yet they can't have customer support. They can't allow for problems like this to get solved. I mean, it's just a laundry list of issues at Facebook that they simply don't care about. If she were to run Facebook ads, perhaps she could get someone on the line. But again, this is the way that all these companies operate. Google, you want to get in touch with Google? You can only go through Google ads. Facebook, probably similar. What goes with these pants? Meta aims to improve AI assistance. So they've got money to improve AI assistance, but they don't have money for the local Lincoln resident and business owner. Chatting with an AI assistant, according to CNET.com, can feel frustrating, especially when the conversation doesn't flow naturally or the assistant doesn't understand a command. My experience with AI chat has been infuriating. I hate them with the passion. They never answer my question. I am the guy that calls the bank or the corporation only when the resource is not available online. And I feel like there are so many people that call Wells Fargo or call, insert major corporation here with questions that they could easily find online. They just like calling. That's not me. The only time I will ever reach out to an entity is when the information does not exist on the internet. And so I actually need a human being to help me out. And the AI can never solve those problems because the AI are programmed to deal with the whatever percentage of people it is that are asking them questions that they get all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? Meta, formerly Facebook, has been working on a solution. On Wednesday, the social media giant unveiled a new project, according to the article, that aims to improve AI assistance. It's called, I have no clue how to pronounce this, Project Cairaoke, karaoke, I guess. Great. So it's about augmented reality glasses and virtual reality headsets and AR that can make users' experience in those environments better. Zuckerberg is quoted as saying that's going to require advances across a whole range of areas, from new hardware devices to software to building and exploring worlds. And the key to unlocking these advances is AI. So AI assistants that are actually going to help you with things like what goes with these pants, apparently. Here's a shirt in your favorite color, red. All right, fine. So using AI to perhaps even create a universal translator, which is fascinating. Wouldn't that be interesting if you could speak whatever language you wanted and it instantly translated it? That would be quite interesting. But this is more, I don't want to say pie in the sky, but perhaps a bit pie in the sky or early early days of AI getting better. We've heard these promises before. Again, if they can't help the small business owner, but they've got, money to funnel into this, I think they've got their priorities twisted. New survey shows that LinkedIn users strongly dislike unsolicited DMs. I think we all dislike unsolicited DMs. I don't know if you've been on LinkedIn recently, but I always have 99 plus in that little notification box because I can't, it's not relevant. It's not helpful. I'm sure there's people on LinkedIn that are using it differently than I am, and they're on it every day, and they use it to, say, do recruiting, or that's where their job needs them to focus. But for me as a business owner, I just get spammed all day, every day, just get spammed. And that's what this article talks about, is that people just all of the time are being absolutely inundated with this garbage. And they're saying the antidote, of course, is post, actually build relationships, post in relevant communities, do that sort of thing. Okay, fine. I don't know. I don't have time for that, do you? Ladies and gentlemen, let's recap the news of the day. We got Ava Majury fighting against another stalker. Will the nightmare ever end for their family? LinkedIn debuting a podcast network that you may want to check out if that is your vibe. Local business owner loses account to Facebook, can't get back in. Shocking. Not shocking. What goes with these pants? Meta's got money for investing into AI, but not for helping local business owners. And new survey shows that LinkedIn users strongly dislike unsolicited DMs. Yeah. All links to all articles are right there in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful day. It snowed in Vegas today. Can you believe it? Beautiful little flakes. It stopped because it's Vegas, obviously. SendItRising.com. If you know anyone looking for a WordPress website that's gorgeous, top to bottom, super fast, totally SEO'd, blogging that will blow your mind, Facebook posts, LinkedIn, we do all that and more. Why don't you send us a referral? You know you want to. info at senditrising.com. Schedule a meeting with me. You want to meet me? Let's chat. info at senditrising.com. Thanks for swinging by the show. youtube.com/senditrising. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.